Greetings. My name is John Gabriel, and this is the New Calculus channel. So today, I want to talk with you about online learning and the benefits of online learning. So there are a lot of benefits, and I probably won't be able to cover all of them, but here are some of them at any rate. So, the first thing about online learning is that it results or can result in independent learning and thinking. In other words, the kind of practice that helps students succeed on their own, which is what is most desirable. After all, I think it was that famous British novelist or poet, I can't remember his name right now, but he said something to the effect that education is great and good and what have you, but one should remember that nothing that is worth learning can be taught. And that is true. So what you learn at school is really very basic and will not guarantee you success. You have to go far beyond that. And that's how you become successful. So if done properly, online learning will result in independent learning and thinking, creativity and inventiveness and all the other good stuff. So the second point is that learning can be paced according to student ability. So for example, somebody who is really advanced intellectually can complete the basic school education. Instead of 12 years, they can do it in about 6 years. I know that I was more advanced than university lecturers when I was only 14 years old, because that's when I had mastered the flawed mainstream calculus. Okay, I taught myself calculus. So really, a lot of students like me get very bored at school. And to be honest with you, I hated school and I hated my teachers. They were all idiots. Well, most of them, at any rate. And I don't think that I can remember maybe more than 2 or 3 who I fancied, but I really didn't gain very much from them at all. So the third point is that one can avoid distractions and the social anxiety that comes from being in groups of people who you really don't want to be around, actually, because in many cases they're really low quality people. And I don't mean that in a dismissive, arrogant way or in a snobbish way, but honestly, the school society mix is toxic for most students. And unless you go to a private school, really, you probably dread getting up every day to go to school. And I was often truant from school because I hated being around my peers. They were idiots. The fourth point is that parents can teach their children internet etiquette and good communication skills. Now, at least one parent should supervise learning. And those with uneducated parents can team up with small groups of other children during learning at home. And the fifth point is that students cannot be influenced negatively by the rotten apples who have no interest in learning. And I'm talking about those who come from not well-to-do families, whose parents have no interest in their education, and who themselves have resigned to a life of crime, to a life of getting into trouble with the law, and having no desire to learn. And a lot of the public schools in the United States fit that bill exactly. I mean, you can go into a classroom in the US and it's like trying to teach a bunch of animals. Students have no respect for teachers. They have no respect for anyone, even, not even for their parents. So there you go. Now, number 6, it eliminates the need for expensive school administrations. I mean, I've often wondered to myself what these, the stupid principals do, and the superintendents, and, those who wander around the hallways of schools. In most cases, they're more trouble than they're help, And why would you need police on school campuses? You wouldn't need any of that. All that stress of the routines would be eliminated, and each student could have a routine that suits him or her best. So, number 7 is that social norms and fashion do not affect the learning process. So, we're not going to have to worry about the jocks or the beautiful woman competing with each other to see who's, dressed the best and whatnot. That's got nothing to do with learning. The 8th point is that bullying, school shootings, and peer-induced suicides would be avoided. Well, I think you'd be shocked if you looked at those numbers on the stats site just for the US alone. They're enormously high compared to other countries. Schools are miserable places. They're miserable in every respect. The teachers are unqualified. The teachers are unethical. A lot of them are perverts or sexual predators, and they do prey on, students who have basically resigned themselves to a life of failure. And the last point is that contagious diseases are avoided. And this is also planet-friendly, as one doesn't have to use so many masks and cleaning materials. Not to mention that we'd also have a reduction in teenage pregnancies. I mean, that would be a good thing too, wouldn't it? Well, and not to mention the discrimination, different race discrimination, sexual discrimination, etc. All that would be almost a thing of the past. Well, I think online learning is the future. I really do. And I think schools don't have a place anymore in the world ahead. I believe that there are more a problem in the path of learning than there are in assisting learning. So that's my views on online learning. It's the best, in my opinion. And all students can learn to be educated online with some guidance, with some more guidance in some cases than others. And that, my friends, is pretty much it. I'm John Gabriel. This is the New Calculus Channel. Till next time, goodbye.